All right, let's talk about one of the greatest bets ever made. We're diving into the heart of Jules Verne's classic adventure, and it all kicks off with a single wager that sparks one of the most epic journeys in all of literature.
Everything starts with this number, 80. Now, back in 1872, that wasn't just some random number. It was the absolute edge of what was thought possible, a deadline to circle the entire planet that sounded like pure science fiction.
And what could possibly drive someone to attempt such a thing? Well, how about 20,000 pounds? You have to understand, that kind of money back then was an absolute fortune, millions in today's money. It was half of a very wealthy man's entire net worth. This was no friendly bet. This was deadly serious.
But, to really get your head around a wager this insane, you first have to understand the man who was crazy enough to make it. The cool, collected, and impossibly precise Phileas Fogg.
I mean, this guy's life wasn't just organized. It was a living, breathing mathematical equation. We're talking about a man whose shaving water had to be exactly 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Not 84, not 87, 86. He knew it took him precisely 575 steps to get from his house to his club. He wasn't so much a person as he was a perfectly calibrated Swiss watch. And then, into this perfectly scheduled, predictable world, walks his brand new servant, Jean Passepartout. And this guy, he's the complete opposite of Fogg. He's an emotional ex-circus performer who's just looking for a quiet, boring life. You can already see where this is going, can't you?
And the funny thing is, Passepartout sees Fogg's machine-like personality and thinks, perfect, this is exactly what he's been searching for, a life with no surprises. He believes he's finally found his quiet corner of the world. Oh, he had absolutely no idea what he was in for.
Yeah, that dream of a quiet life, it lasts for about 5 minutes. It gets completely blown to bits by one single conversation at London's very exclusive Reform Club.
So, the whole city is buzzing about this huge bank robbery. And as Fogg and his buddies at the club are debating if the thief could even get away, the conversation shifts to how technology, trains and steamers, is making the world smaller. It's that classic Victorian optimism, the unwavering belief that steam and steel could conquer anything. Then, someone brings up this article from the Daily Telegraph. It lays out a theoretical itinerary, a schedule claiming you could actually race around the entire planet in just 80 days. While everyone else scoffs and calls it nonsense, Phileas Fogg just calmly says, yes, it can be done. Of course, they all think he's joking, but Fogg doesn't joke about things like this, so he doubles down. He doesn't just argue his point, he puts his money where his mouth is. 20,000 pounds, half of everything he owns. Bet on the fact that he can make this exact journey. And get this, he's not planning for weeks or months. He announces he's leaving that night. He sets a precise deadline for his return, right down to the minute. And just like that, the bet is on and the clock is started.
So, can you imagine being Passepartout? You go home to find out that the quiet, predictable job you started just a few hours ago is over. Your new boss tells you to pack a bag because you're leaving to go around the world immediately.
In the frantic rush to get ready, Passepartout forgets one tiny thing, to turn off the gas lamp in his room. Later, on the train, he has a total meltdown, imagining the bill getting higher and higher. And Fogg? Without missing a beat, he just coolly says that the cost will be deducted from Passepartout's salary. Cold as ice. The news just explodes across London. It's the talk of the town. People are so obsessed with it, they actually start trading Phileas Fogg bonds on the stock exchange. The vast majority of people are convinced he's a complete lunatic, but a few adventurous souls, they decide to bet on him.
But it's not just the press and the gamblers who are paying attention. Fogg's sudden departure with a huge amount of money has attracted a different kind of interest.
You have to look at this from the perspective of Scotland Yard. A major bank has just been robbed. And then a reclusive gentleman suddenly makes a giant wager and flees the country with a bag stuffed with cash. What does that sound like to you? It sounds an awful lot like a getaway plan.
And their suspicion only gets stronger when they look at the evidence. The only description they have of the bank robber is that he was a polished, well-dressed gentleman. They pull up a photograph of Phileas Fogg and, well, it's pretty much a perfect match.
And this is where Detective Fix comes in. He's a sharp inspector who's been sent to Suez in Egypt to watch the ports. After a very brief and very friendly chat with the incredibly talkative Passepartout, Fix is 100% sure Phileas Fogg is his bank robber.
I mean, for Fix, the case practically solves itself. You've got the sudden departure, the bag full of cash, this wild wager that serves as the perfect cover story, a brand new servant who's totally in the dark, and a mysterious past. It all fits. So Fix fires off a telegraph to London asking for an arrest warrant to be sent to their next stop, Bombay.
So our travelers get to India, and believe it or not, they're a full 2 days ahead of schedule. This is a massive advantage. But that advantage is about to be threatened by, you guessed it, Passepartout's boundless curiosity.
While Fogg is methodically eating his dinner at the station, Passepartout decides to do a little sightseeing. He's completely captivated by this beautiful temple, the Malabar Hill Pagoda, and, being totally clueless about local customs, he's about to make a very, very big mistake.
It's like a train wreck in slow motion. First, he walks right into the pagoda not knowing Christians aren't allowed inside. Big mistake. Then he commits the ultimate offense. He doesn't take his shoes off. The priests are, understandably, furious. They attack him, a fight breaks out, and Passepartout has to literally run for his life, leaving his shoes behind. This isn't just an awkward tourist moment. He's just committed a crime.
And who do you think is standing there watching this whole chaotic scene unfold? None other than Detective Fix. For him, this is an absolute gift. He doesn't even need the warrant from London anymore. A crime has been committed on British soil, and that gives him all the legal power he needs to stop Fogg's journey right in its tracks.
So Phileas Fogg's perfect clockwork schedule is on a direct collision course with the messy, unpredictable real world. With a determined detective hunting him and an accident-prone sidekick creating chaos, can his mathematical precision survive? The clock is ticking, the stakes are higher than ever, and trust me, this journey has only just begun.